what this announcement could mean for WSU students this fall.
And how students feel about the Chauvin conviction.
Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Ava Wainhouse.
And I'm Jake Knight. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Derek Chauvin has been found guilty of second-degree manslaughter, second-degree unintentional murder, and third-degree murder in the death of George Floyd. The jury came to this verdict only hours ago, and people all across America tuned in to the trial.
Unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. Third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. Second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m.
According to AP News, the most serious charge for Chauvin carries up to 40 years in prison.
Continuing our reaction to the Chauvin trial, our reporter Alex Catanzaro is live with thoughts from the community.
Thanks, Jake. We reached out to the Black Student Union earlier today, and they gave us a brief statement saying that they're happy and relieved with the verdict, but that it doesn't make up for other violence against black people in this country's history. They do hope that people tend to continue to fight on for black lives in their lives and communities. And I'm joined here with Doyle D'Angelo today. Doyle, what was your verdict, or what was your take on the verdict today?
I thought it was a great thing, you know. I'm happy that at least in this instance that we get some justice and accountability for the unjust killings of black men all across America.
Yeah. What precedent do you hope that this sets for these other cases that have happened and are going to continue to happen?
Well, it's really hard to tell right now, you know, just due to the history of our country, but I don't want to be cynical. I think this could be a good start for us. Justice is not limited to just one instance, and it shouldn't be. It should be a standard. And I think that if everyone can remember that, then we'll be better off.
Yeah, I think that's been a big trend of today. There's a lot of relief and a lot of excitement about what the potential could hold for the country as a whole as we move forward and try to deal with this issue of racism. Live from Pullman, I'm Alex Catanzaro.
According to WSU officials, students will be back on campus next semester. The university has said that they will plan on having most classes in person next fall. Classes will still look a little different as classrooms will be set up to accommodate physical distancing. Currently, over 25 schools across the country are requiring students and faculty to be vaccinated to attend classes next semester. WSU has said an announcement on vaccines will be coming in the next few weeks.
All K-12 students in Washington State have received the chance to return to class in person yesterday. According to King 5 News, the goal to improve students' mental health is one of the main reasons why schools are being allowed to bring students back. Students and teachers are eager to have this opportunity. One Edmonds Woodway High School student saying, quote, "I'm glad we get to go at all, and it's not just from our room," end quote.
COVID-19 levels in Whitman County are trending in the right direction. For the first time in 6 weeks, the coronavirus activity level in the county dropped back to the moderate range. The 146 new confirmed cases in the last 2 weeks marks the lowest number over a 2-week span since late February. There are 14 active cases at Washington State University, and the positivity rate at WSU has dropped under 2%.
COVID numbers are down, but Whitman County Public Health is frustrated with the state. Washington State officials evaluated the county based on hospitalizations between March 24th and March 30th and case counts between March 20th and April 2nd. Based off those numbers, the county was forced to move back to Phase 2. According to Moscow Pullman Daily News, Whitman County Public Health Director Chris Skidmore says the way the state gathered the data only provided a snapshot of the situation and is not a correct representation of the numbers in the county.
Cougs Give Day led to over $700,000 being raised by alumni and friends to go back into the university. 2015 was the first Cougs Give Day, and since then, including the record-setting day this year, Pullman Radio reports that there has been $2.5 million raised. Donations came from across 30 different states, and the College of Veterinary Medicine received the most support, getting 259 gifts, equaling just over $337,000.
WSU is developing a new medical residency program partnered with Pullman Regional Hospital and the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine. A new space is being developed by Pullman Regional to accommodate the new family medicine residency program. Renovations are expected to begin this fall, and the first group of residents begin their training in June of 2022. The 3-year program will be under the oversight of Dr. Stephen Hall.
When we come back, what Chuck Schumer is pushing for legalization today.
And this governor signed a new gun legislation.
It feels like no matter where you look, the state of the world's getting worse. Oceans full of plastic, an endless amount of waste, an impossible task ahead of fixing our beloved planet. But change can't happen if you do nothing. So here's where you should start. Reduce. Why? Because Americans produce more than 200 million tons of waste every year, and you don't want to add to that. Reuse. Why? Because reusing and repurposing cuts back on unnecessary waste, and it gives things a chance at new life. Recycle. Why? Because recycling creates jobs. It helps our community and it helps our planet. And after doing all this, what will we be left with? We'll be left with a planet that will slowly start to heal.
Gabriel DeWitt Wilson is in police custody in connection to a shooting at a Stop and Shop in West Hampstead, New York. According to CNN and the Nassau County Sheriff Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder, the 49-year-old old store manager was killed and 2 others were hospitalized. Ryder said, quote, "He left the scene and he was witnessed still carrying a handgun," end quote.
Colorado Governor Jared Polis signed 2 bills on gun regulations yesterday. Both bills have been passed in the Democratic Senate and House without Republican support. According to CNN, Senate Bill 78 would require gun owners to report their stolen firearm within 5 days, or they will be subject to fines. House Bill 1106 requires gun owners to responsibly and securely store firearms with a lock, with the intention of keeping them out of the hands of children.
Today is April 20th, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer hopes to see an end to the prohibition of marijuana by this date next year. According to CNBC, Schumer and Senators Cory Booker and Ron Wyden released a joint statement in February calling for restorative justice for people convicted of marijuana-related crimes. When talking about the war on drugs, Schumer says it is, quote, "too often been a war on people, particularly people of color," end quote.
I'm definitely hoping the sun sticks around for us. What's the weather forecast looking like, Tiara?
Thank you, Ava. So today is kind of a nice breeze today, a wind power of about 8. Today was a high of 62, so it was nice, a little warm, but tomorrow will definitely be warmer with a high of 66. A little less wind power to it, so it will be a nice day to take a walk out in the park or just sit down and enjoy the sunshine. Going to the state map, it is a high of 70 in Seattle and a high of 72 in Olympia, so pretty warm over there. Going to the middle of the state and Tri-Cities and Yakima, it's a little colder, about 69-ish in Tri-Cities and 68 in Yakima. Coming over to the east side with Pullman and Spokane, it's a little warmer in Spokane with a high of 64, and like I said earlier, it's a high of 62 in Pullman. Coming to the 5-day forecast, it's going to be a high of 66 tomorrow and a high of 66 also on Thursday. So it's going to be a little warmer Wednesday and Thursday. So definitely enjoy the sunshine. Later on in the week, expect some rainfall. Excuse me. So it's definitely springtime weather. So grab your raincoats this weekend and make sure you cover up. Thank you, and back to you guys at the desk.
This WSU pitcher is looking to make an impact in the big leagues.
And we'll tell you how many teams are pulling out of the European Super League.
Pressure.
Expectations.
Overwhelmed.
Mental health issues are real.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death among people aged 15 through 24.
But it doesn't have to stay that way.
If you're going through a difficult time,
hope and help is only a phone call away.
On the playing field, it is important to lean on your teammates for help.
It is important to lean on each other off the field, too.
Life isn't always easy and can sometimes feel overwhelming.
You don't have to face it alone.
We are all on the same team when it comes to looking out for each other.
There is hope.
You matter. We care.
Help is just a phone call away.
Good evening, I'm Korea Pounds with your sports. The creation of the European Super League for Europe's biggest 12 clubs, has caused a lot of displeasure and criticism from fans, athletes of the teams, and many more analysis. It has come to a point where all 6 English clubs like Manchester City and Chelsea, to name a few, have decided to prepare to withdraw from the European Super League. The Super League could drastically change the landscape of European soccer, and fans and athletes have voiced their frustrations all over social media. Former WSU pitcher Damon Jones has officially been called up to the big leagues, now joining the Philadelphia Phillies. Jones appeared in 33 games as a Coug, having a 5-5 record with a 4.87 ERA, and was drafted in the 18th round by the Phillies. Jones had a 3.34 ERA in the minor leagues through 253.2 innings pitched. Philadelphia just called him up Monday to make his major league debut. WSU football will hold their annual spring football game this Saturday at 2 p.m. at Gessa Field at Martin Stadium. The biggest story heading into the spring game is the quarterback battle between the transfer, Jarek Guarantano, and going into his second year despite an offseason setback, Jane DeLaura. Both QBs are expected to compete for the starting job this fall. Cougar fans can check the game out at WSU Athletics Facebook Live. Seattle Mariners dropped Game 2 of the quick 2-game series against the Los Angeles Dodgers today. The only run came from an RBI single from Corey Seager that brought in A.J. Pollock. Seattle won Game 1 of the series last night 4-3 and came up short in today's afternoon matinee. The Mariners still find themselves in first place in the AL West with a record of 11-7, ahead to Boston tomorrow to face the Red Sox on Thursday. Back to you guys at the desk.
Apple made some big announcements today.
We'll tell you when we come back. Apple held an hour-long event today packed with announcements. Some of the key announcements include a new iPad Pro, a new Mac computer with a fingerprint scanner, and AirTag, a Bluetooth locator for items such as keys, wallets, and laptops. I need to buy me one of those AirTags because I lose my keys and wallets and all sorts of things like that way too frequently.
Yeah, I feel like I could totally use that for my AirPods. I feel like I've lost one, and I don't know if that's going to be a feature, but if they could tell me when one of them ends up like in the cushions in my couch and the other is like in my case, that would be amazing.
I agree, yeah. Looking forward to those new Apple products.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you missed any of our other newscasts, you can always check us on our YouTube channel.
And for more Murrow News 8 contact, go to nwpb.org/MN8. Thanks for watching and have a great night.